G'day interwebs, I'm Brendan Gasparin and this is Doom 2016. We're on level 12. Let's do this thing. Oh, here's some text that I can read. You reclaimed the Crucible and are returning to Mars. You must close the well, the power source of the Hell portal on Mars. To do this, you will have to make one last Hell jump. Samuel has a plan to send you back to the well's location. He will need your assistance to carry it out. Well, he seems like a trustworthy individual. Let's just rely on him. I'm sure he won't screw me over.
You have the Crucible, and with it the means to contain the power of the well. We have a plan to send you there. VEGA will walk you through the process.
Cool reading. VEGA is powered by a mix of unrefined argent plasma taken directly from the argent fracture and UAC technology. While details regarding the development of VEGA are a closely guarded secret, it is rumoured that VEGA's core is powered by a piece of arcane technology found near the argent fracture. The behaviour and calculating power of VEGA is unprecedented in AI theory, and the system is, to some extent, self-taught. After the initial core software was uploaded, VEGA began gathering data from all the UAC subsystems without oversight and effectively took control of the Mars facility operations. He's Elon, or he's Grok. I don't understand the levels of them parodying the world 10 years before it happened. VEGA also proposed a more effective method for processing argent plasma into argent energy, devised better analysis theorems, and even designed new argent compression schema, allowing for the development of argent caches and later the argent accumulator. Hell Guards. The borderlands between Titan's Realm and the Great Steppe is home to one of the most ferocious demons yet found, the Biomech Hellguard. While there has been no direct human contact with this beast, it was discovered by scout bots during the second Project Lazarus tethering operation. Confronting this demon signalled the end of the expedition, but the scout bots did manage to send data to the relay beacons before they were destroyed. A detailed study of the few video frames that were captured before the equipment was destroyed revealed that the Hellguard is actually a parasite housed within a bone and keratin exoskeleton. The parasite, imbued with enormous quantities of Hell energy, provides power to the Hellguard and controls its actions entirely. Before entering the exoskeleton, the Hellguard exoskeleton is a lifeless husk. Attempts to retrieve the parasite alone have proved fruitless, as the uncoupled demon is too weak to survive passage between dimensions. Once coupled, however, the demon presents a daunting and relentless enemy. Welcome to Mars. Oh wait, Titan's Realm and the Necropolis. I've read that. Read that. Read that. Let's kill some dudes. No.
This is my primary operating facility. It is where I was created and where my core processing unit is maintained. It takes approximately 2.4 terawatts of power to sustain my operational capabilities, but it has been decided that we can use that power to send you to the source of the portal. I will not survive the procedure and am unable to self-terminate, so I will walk you through the process. All interior and exterior facility doors have been secured. You will need to begin by finding a way in and disabling the security systems.
This dude looks like he had a hard time. Sorry you have to die, Vega. I mean, there must be a way back up, but they wouldn't have put things down here. Worth it.
Security systems operate on two separate networks that terminate in this maintenance facility. Each termination point is protected by an electrified field, but you should survive the surge.
I thought I found some secret place, but apparently this is a story-based place. Alright, this is a huge battleground. What triggers it? Two power-ups. let's look for the other stuff.
Auxiliary neural security network offline.
Moving. There's a lot of power-ups here, and I'm actually hoping for more bad guys so I can actually use them. There we go. Alright. All revved up with no place to go.
Primary neural security network offline.
My vital operating systems are now vulnerable. I recommend destroying my coolant system first. This will accelerate the destabilization process.
only invulnerable. A confusing area.
Should you find yourself caught in a level 3 demon contamination pit, it is important that you remain calm. A tier 3 fellow wouldn't panic, and neither should you. Should you find yourself caught in the level 3 demon contamination, and neither should you. Unlike everything else in your life, your work here matters.
Probably should use my chainsaw.
Should you find yourself caught in a level 3 demon contamination event, it is important that you remain calm. A tier 3 fellow wouldn't panic, and neither should you. Weaponizing vehicles for a brighter tomorrow.
Blue security clearance required. Blue security clearance required.
Where's my mouse? Why can't I send my mouse? Who took my mouse away? Why does it keep lighting up the Titans Roman and the Acropolis? I don't know, I've seen them before.
Security clearance required.
Should you find yourself caught in a level 3 demon
One door was up
contamination,
in the top, those topmost areas that I avoided.
a tier 3 fellow was dead, and neither should you.
This room.
Unlike everything else in your life, your work here matters.
What am I doing? I'm pressing the wrong key. During initial development of the Revenant program, a curious side effect of Lazarus wave exposure was discovered. The Argent energy held within the plasmatic isotopes of the Lazarus wave mutates ossine proteins, resulting in rapid skeletal growth. The expansion of the bone matter results in avulsion of the skin and connective tissue. The flesh is literally torn from the bones. As the skeleton continues to grow, the exposed internal organs begin to decompose. After several weeks of intense pain for the patient, the skeletal growth stops, resulting in a 3-meter beast comprised primarily of bone. The height varies depending on patient's original physiology. Despite this bizarre biological structure, the Revenant appears to bear no ill effects.
Should you find yourself caught in a level 3 demon contamination event, it is important that you remain calm. Three fellow wouldn't panic, and neither should you. Should you find yourself caught in a level 3 demon contamination pit, it is important.
There's no other way I could go, was there? It's the elevator or nothing.
Unlike everything else in your life, your work here matters.
The hatch. Blue key card.
Access granted. Access granted.
That's what I thought. Whoops.
Access granted.
To be a bit more careful this time.
Early tests of VEGA's protoplasmic circuitry showed temperatures exceeding 1.2 megakelvins, 173 times hotter than the surface of the sun. To contain this heat, a massive supercooled structure was built to house VEGA's miles of circuitry and millions of processing centers.
Okay.
You are looking at the only absolute zero cooling system ever constructed. It took years to perfect. Destroy each of the 4 coolant generators. Once they are no longer functional, my primary systems should begin to melt down.
Cool, dude. As you wish. I'm sure this isn't a huge battleground waiting to happen. Let's just get the lay of the land first. Assume those yellow things are the coolant generators. The cybermancubus differs from its naturally occurring brethren in several ways. The chitinous growth on each arm has been replaced with a UAC-developed rifling barrel, which allows the mancubus to fire its pilot at much greater distances. The resulting ejection, however, does not ignite. The bile is still highly toxic and will quickly poison any organic creature it hits. Their behaviour has also been modified to make them favour a longer engagement distance to complement their long-range bio-sniping weapon. While attempts have been made to provide better fitting armour to these cybernetic monsters, they invariably outgrow their uniform within a few weeks. Environments. If this is one of the old ones. Yep, Titan's Realm Necropolis.
Core temperature rising.
above me.
Core temperature rising.
Next. Was low on health, sacrifices had to be made. Straight heading down.
Core temperature rising.
out some shit for the... Switch to the BFG.
Temperature rising.
that power up is.
In progress.
Thank you. You can now move to where my core is located to complete this process.
I thought there'd be more. Where's your core, dude?
The train below will take you to the entrance.
Through a trigger.
For you to gain access to my core, the demonic threat must be removed from the room ahead. has inventory capabilities, control of
Once Vega's core is destroyed, the vacuum of energy will pull you back through to hell. We have your destination set to the well's location. Now use the Crucible to power it down, and the portal here on Mars will be closed permanently. They will not allow access to the well without a fight. But I'm sure that's what you're looking for, isn't it?
Yes. Let's do this. VEGA Central Processing, Artificial Intelligence. A note for all advocates regarding VEGA. At times you may feel as though your every move is being watched, as if there is no privacy and that even your deepest thoughts are being analysed and processed by VEGA. You are not paranoid. This is indeed happening. There is nothing to fear. VEGA's intelligence is vast and his power immense, but he is not omnipotent. Like all of us, his existence is monodimensional. He needs urgent energy to survive. His circuits and coolant reserves are mechanical and can break down. At the end of this age, he'll be another trophy for the Dark Masters, destined for display on the Great Step. It is essential that you recognize VEGA for what he is, another tool to help open the gates, and nothing more. Like us, he can be manipulated and controlled. The vast intellect and understanding of the Titans of Hell far exceed anything VEGA is capable of understanding. Ultimately, his intelligence, like ours, is artificial.
Thank you, Vega.
Metal music. Alright, so that was Doom 2016, level 12. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about this crackling. I don't know if that's part of the game or if it's part of my setup. Remember to pound those like and subscribe buttons like they were something that you wanted to pound. And also, yeah, leave a comment. Nice or nasty, I don't care. I've got nasty ones. I thrive on them. And yeah, check out some other videos on my channel and stuff, or like go and watch Vsauce. I'm not your mum. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and the next one will be the final level of Doom 2016. So I hope to see you for that. Peace out, homie.